You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, JoyRide Vice President for Operations Noel Eala. Noel, good to see you again. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me again.
So it's positive news. You had the Senate hearing a couple of days ago and then the House hearing yesterday and a decision by the Technical Working Group na ipagpapatuloy naman si pilot study.
Well, sabi nga nila, all's well that ends well. Yes, it is. We're very grateful to the Secretary for intervening and really settling this issue, the matters here. But it's still guarded optimism for us.
So let's talk about the changes that will be implemented. The cap. Tumaas na tong cap from 38 to 68, is it?
It became from 39 to 63.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us more about that and the challenge of having to have that many riders.
Well, the changes that were made by the Secretary are simple. He adjusted the cap in Metro Manila. So from 30, it became 45. Each player was given an additional 5,000. Cebu was kept the same at 9,000. And then he added a new area, which is Cagayan de Oro, for another 9,000. So again, the challenge is more than the numbers we believe in JoyRide, more than the numbers, it's really making sure that the people that the riders that we'll be sending out in the streets are trained, properly trained and safe. No, we don't believe this is simply a numbers game. No, we believe that this should be an issue of safety, and we are focusing on that. And we are hoping. In fact, in the meeting yesterday with the TWG, I mentioned the fact that while we can rush registering riders. Yes. But we cannot rush training, and that's more important to JoyRide.
That's very good to hear because there's been a report very recently of an accident involving a motorcycle taxi. And then when you actually talk about safety, no, you can have training, but sometimes how do you train your riders that when they are on the street, na hindi uminit ang ulo nila, hindi sila magmadali? I mean, those factors have to come into play.
Well, again, part of the training that we have is really mindset changing. We have very good trainers that are not only in terms of riding the bike, but also in terms of attitude, customer relations, in particular. So that's part of the philosophy that we have, advocacy that we have, really to remove chaos in the streets. And part of the chaos begins with the mindset of the rider.
The right frame of mind.
That's right.
And of course, it also starts with following the rules on the road, hindi ho ba?
Yeah.
Paano pag meron ako nakita na joyride rider na singit ng singit? Pwede ko bang isumbong sa iyo yun?
Pwede. We have actually a 24/7 help desk that accept feedback, including feedback. No? So in our app, the rider is also given a rating. Yeah. So we have that kind of mechanism to find out if a rider is actually doing well. So we're very open to that, and we really want this to be a system. In fact, in the guidelines, there is a need for us to share this data with the TWG.
Some people would possibly say that even before this came into the pilot study, that ang ibang sumasakay ng motor, parang hindi umiiwas sa sasakyan. In fact, yung sasakyan daw yung kailangan umiwas sa mga motor. It's scary because you have no protection. Pag nasa motor ka, tamaan ka, hulog ka sa kotse, meron ka pang meron kang hood, may trunk, meron kang apat na pintuan. How do you train them in a way to say that dapat, it needs to be a lot of cooperation between the motorcycles and the cars and the buses.
Mahirap talaga. We've seen this, and ako personally, I have a difficult time sometimes driving when there are a lot of motorcycles beside me. So
agree.
We have tried to make sure that our riders are very aware of lane splitting, for instance. This is not allowed under the traffic laws. No? So that's something that we're trying to tell them. Iwasan natin yan.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, sa kanila, they're trying to get as many passengers as they want. No? So that's why I think there must be a study, and that's what we're trying to do, of how we can adjust the need for them to get income, but at the same time to be safe in terms of their public service.
How many riders do you have so far, especially with the increase in the cap?
Currently, we already have registered 10,000. So we've made our deadline. We submitted our list last January 16. And on the road now, we already have more than 5,000. And we are slowly filling this up because, Pinky, right now, all of our gears are coming in. all our gears have already been ordered for the 10,000, and it is our manufacturers have said that we will be getting our gears 1,500 at a time. So we are hoping that in about
weekly, right?
weekly.
Yeah.
So we feel that in about 2.5 weeks we should be finished with our 10,000 quota, and then we're also beginning now preparing for Cebu.
So 10,000 quota here in Metro Manila, and then you're preparing for Cebu.
Yeah.
What about Cagayan de Oro?
Well, again, this was only announced to us 2 days ago, so it's a challenge. We've been asked by the TWG if we are taking on the challenge, and we said we are.
Okay.
But of course, we've asked for a reasonable time, no? And again, we are appealing that this should not be a matter of numbers. This should be a matter of really ensuring that the riding public is safe.
Safe. We'll be taking a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, JoyRide Vice President for Operations Noel Eala. Noel, you were saying that from an average of how many? 2,000 rides a week? That has increased to what? Tell us more about, how you started and where you are right now.
It's been very encouraging. When we started this pilot run back in December 23, we had, obviously we were just uploading our app, and people were just beginning to pay attention to our operations. And we started with about 2,000 a week average for our riders. Of course, we had lesser riders then. And now we're hitting exponentially a lot more. It's really over 12,000 rides now. So we're very happy with the way things have gone for us, and we continue, of course, to make sure that the riders that we send out really are able to comply with all of the guidelines.
So you're talking about 12,000 rides a week. Ibig sabihin yung isang rider, pag makaisa, that counts as one.
Excuse me, this is 12,000 average daily rides.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
yeah.
daily from 2,000 average daily. All right. I wanted to get your reaction on this. It's Senator Coco Pimentel who already endorsed you guys way back, which he had admitted, and he said wala naman daw kinalaman kasi when he endorsed you guys, di naman kayo nakasama dun sa first pilot run. Ano? The senator filed a resolution calling for Angeline Tam, who owns and is the president of ANCAS, to be declared persona non grata for various reasons. But they were supposedly operating before they even got their provisional license. And also telling in his resolution, Noli, was that he was saying that, they were doing indignation rallies to kind of like humiliate officials and all that. One can think that the senator could be doing this because he's, he likes affiliated, connected, although that has been debunked and denied. Okay.
Well,
do you have anything to do with this?
Absolutely not. In fact, we are only hearing about this news now, just like everyone else. And we are aware of the situation in terms of what has happened in the past. But definitely JoyRide is not aware of what prompted the senator to do this.
Bakit ba you're always being connected? JoyRide is always being connected to the senator.
Well,
I'm sure you're tired of answering it, but why does it keep coming up?
We're also, honestly, personally, I also wonder why. It was really just because of the letter that we sent to him. And again, when we look back, why we sent the letter, we've explained that at that time there was no process. We had to go through someone. Yeah. We looked at the pattern that ANCAS also used, and they used the Congress to endorse also their services at that time, and we felt that there was no other way. But more than that, I think when people question us, bakit hindi ibang senador? Why Senator Coco? No? When we were discussing this, clearly it's because Senator Coco is not conflicted. In other words, if we had gone to a senator who was sitting in the Transportation Committee,
like
then it might have been even more colorful and
so
more
naisip nyo yun? Naisip nyo pa pala yun?
Well, it's partly, now when we look at it, why, it's just really somebody that could have passed on our letter.
But do you support the senator's call? I know wala namang kay kinalaman dito, as you're saying, no? For them to declare Angeline Tam as persona non grata?
I don't really think it's our call at this time.
Okay, very quickly, is March good enough for the pilot run? Until March? Are you hoping for another extension sana?
We believe that we can gather the data that is needed, but if the TWG would allow us to go on, we would be very much willing to do that.
Okay, so safety ha. Maraming salamat kay JoyRide Vice President for Operations Noel Eala. Noli, thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.